My name's Jim Sherman, and I'm a Michigan investigator with the BFRO. And today, I'd like to talk a little bit about the type of gear that you will actually be taking into the field with you when you're on a Bigfoot expedition. Now, it really doesn't matter if you're on an expedition with the BFRO, or if you are on an expedition with anyone really, or if you're going out alone. Many of these simple ideas, tactics, tips, gear, suggestions will work for whatever it is that you're doing in the field. Now, this is going to specifically target what you're actually going to carry on your person when you're on an expedition in the field. Now, I'm not talking about when you're camping or at base camp or anything like that. I'm talking about when you're physically in the woods, hiking up and down and collecting evidence and things like that. And so my focus then is going to be what you can physically carry. And I've found through years of doing this that I can carry pretty much everything that I need in what I have right now. And sometimes I admit I will carry a backpack as well with things like casting materials, extra water, food, a much larger med kit, and things like that. But most of what I really use on a daily basis is what I have with me right now. And I'm going to run through that very quickly for you so that you guys know when you go in the field, you've got what you need and what you'll be comfortable with, and you'll know how it works. Because as a lifelong hunter and someone who's camped all of my life, I knew what to do in the field to be comfortable. I knew the type of hiking shoes to wear. I knew to wear wool socks. I knew to make sure that I had long pants on so that I didn't get the real danger in the woods, which is things like ticks and poison ivy. And so you can even see what I have right now. I have long sleeves in a relatively muted color. Now, this is cotton. I don't normally recommend wearing cotton. I would wear some kind of a synthetic, but this is just what I happen to grab. I wear gloves because I'm afraid of poison ivy. It also makes me feel more invincible in the field for whatever reason. But head to toe, I'm pretty much covered. I even have a bandana. And often when the mosquitoes are horrific, I'll do this. And I like to think I'm a ninja. Do not walk into a 7-Eleven like this, however. But also, what I will do is in this pack, I always have bug repellent. DEET is something that I don't like to put on my person, and so I'll spray this with DEET or various other things, and I'll have them scrolling on the screen at this point so you know what is good and what's best to keep away the flying and biting monsters. But I also will put bug spray and bug repellent on my gear, my tent, everything. The stuff that I put on myself usually is a more natural, like citronella type of a thing, because I don't mind if that's on my body and I sleep, you know, in the same clothes or whatever for a week or whatever it is. I'm not going to end up having children with like 7 eyes or something like that. So trying to get rid of the bugs. There's many ways to try to do that, but covering yourself up is the #1 way to do it. Strangely enough, lighter colors seem to not attract mosquitoes. So the lighter colors that you have, the better. Also, I recommend not wearing anything that makes a ton of noise when you're walking in the woods. All right, let's talk about some of this gear. Simple things. I always carry water. You just should. I have multiple walkie-talkies. This one happens to be my spare. My #1 walkie is right here. And you might notice that I have an earpiece in. And the reason I have that is I can talk to someone, and basically I'm like this, and I talk into the recorder like this, into the microphone, and then I can hear them, and nothing else can hear what I'm hearing. And so I'm not going to freak out anything in the woods. In a few moments, I'll also show you how to turn off your Roger beep for your walkie, which will make your life so much better in the field. Other things, I have a GPS right here. I have a video camera normally here. It's actually right there right now. I have multiple cameras. I always carry this one in the field. I just love this camera. It has a cool zoom capability. No such thing as a blob squatch with this. There just isn't. Only if I make a dumb mistake, which I've done before. But you can figure out what it is you're looking at, and if you see something that looks like a Bigfoot out there, you take a picture of it and it's a stump, you're going to know it's a stump. And so that's why I like this camera. I carry a secondary camera down here also. I always have a recording device going on at all times. Even if I'm in base camp, I have it going because I can always erase it. And it's usually in here, hooked up with an external mic. All right? Or I might set it up in a rig like this. This goes inside here. This microphone goes out this hole here. And I can physically carry this in the field with me, set it down and drop it off. And it's actually kind of a cool little setup. Other things that I have, knives. You can never have too many knives. You never know, seriously, you never know when you're going to want to throw it. This is my wood floor. I am not going to throw it in my wood floor. But you never know when you're going to have to like open a letter or something like that. I always carry knives just because it makes me feel better. Other things, I have a med kit in here that I carry. I have a GPS as well. And I even have things like bear spray right here. Now we don't have where I go. This is primarily for the Midwest. We don't have grizzlies. We do have regular bears, which are just like really, really big, annoying raccoons. And so usually they'll avoid you if they know you're there. They're going to stay away. But I like to have that just in case. But other things, very simply, a good flashlight or headlamp like this. I have a regular flashlight too. Also has a filter on it. But one of the cool things about a flashlight like this, and this is very important, is that you understand how it works. Right? I guarantee you when I click this on, it's going to come on red. And it did. And the reason that that happened was because I know this particular item. Now watch what happens. I want to turn this red light off and I'm in the middle of the field. Oh, that's not, oh hey, sorry friends. All right. So what you want to do, and this is proper flashlight in the field etiquette, is click it on and know that it comes to red. And then when you go to turn it off, and count, because you might not be able to see it. All right, and it's off. Another thing is, when you have this thing on your head and you turn to look at someone, even if it's a red light, that red light's going to be blaring right in their face. And so it's common courtesy just to block your red light. Otherwise, you're going to ruin someone else's night vision. Just a simple thing. But this is the gear that I take into the field whenever I go out. And one of the last things, I like to have the bear dissuader. This is one of my favorite items, and I like it because I can walk in the woods and it makes me feel like I'm in control. I can hit things and make noises if I want to, but I also use it. 90% of its uses are to lean against or to knock brambles out of the way. But it also has extremely accurate graduated measurements on the side, so I can put it up against a track or something like that, and I know the size and things like that. Lastly, I recommend always wearing a hat of some kind. I happen to wear something like this, but a wide-brimmed hat is probably smarter, keeps the rain off you and things like that, and I usually bring one of those also just wrapped up in my pocket just in case it gets nasty. One other thing that I just thought of, you know, you've got all the bug repellent in the world and things like that, but it's also sometimes useful to have a mosquito head net. Because if you're in the UP or something like that, and the black flies are out and the deer flies are out, I think they eat deep. I don't know. They go for your eyes and things like that. So it's helpful to have a net like that, just a face net, just for your sanity. But those are the things that I bring into the field with me when I go out anytime. I didn't even mention my evidence collection. I have tweezers, I have baggies, I have brown paper bags, I have all sorts of things. I keep a map in here. I always also keep a pad of paper to take notes. Hopefully this has been helpful for you, and hopefully I can see you sometime out in the field, and we'll go collect some evidence. Have a great day. Okay, now I'd like to talk a little bit about some of the radios that we'll be using in the field. First off, turning them on. All right, listen to the difference. All right, or this. Just so you know, this one sounds better in the field, just because it doesn't have that beep. also listen to this. Now I'm going to move this away or else it'll be too loud. All right. I'm going to make a call with this, with the Roger beep on. Right, so just listen. This is River Group. We're going to do a howl in 10. Over. All right. That which you just heard on this one was the Roger beep from this one. And the problem is, in the field, that's extremely loud. So what you want to make sure you do is you go to the menu, and it gives you the option, well, first of all, turning it off, which I just did, which is not what I wanted to do. But also, if you just tap it, you can change all sorts of things. Okay, that's Roger beep on. I want it off. Nope. All right. And now it won't do the same thing. All right, I'm going to turn it on and you'll see. Much more quiet, much more stealthy. All right. You also heard that when I made the call, I told the other person who I was, what I was going to be doing, and then I actually said over for the end of the communication. All right. And lastly, this is something that you might want to have with you. This is a simple recorder. It's a Sony IC model, and it's so simple. I mean, even I find it difficult to mess it up. On, record, hold, and then you can do that with it, and it's going to work. All right? Thank you.